January 13th, 1997. The White House, Washington, D.C. Vernon Baker, age 77, stands in dress uniform as President Bill Clinton places the Medal of Honor around his neck. Baker is one of 7 black World War II soldiers receiving the nation's highest decoration today, all posthumous except him. The citation describes his actions April 5th to 6th, 1945, near Viareggio, Italy. For extraordinary heroism in action, First Lieutenant Baker demonstrated outstanding courage and leadership in destroying enemy installations, personnel, and equipment during his company's attack against a strongly entrenched enemy in mountainous terrain. What the citation describes: Baker personally destroyed 3 German machine gun nests, 2 observation posts, 4 dugouts, 1 enemy position, and killed approximately 26 German soldiers in a single 24-hour period. He eliminated these positions through close assault under fire, grenades, rifle fire, and tactical movement that should have gotten him killed, but instead cleared fortified German defenses. This happened 52 years ago. Baker's company commander recommended him for the Medal of Honor in 1945. The recommendation was reviewed, approved by battalion, approved by regiment, approved by division. Then it reached Army-level review. The recommendation was downgraded to Distinguished Service Cross, the second highest decoration. No explanation was provided for the downgrade. Documents discovered in the 1990s reveal the pattern. Black soldiers' Medal of Honor recommendations were systematically denied during World War II. Actions that earned white soldiers the Medal of Honor earned black soldiers Distinguished Service Crosses at best, often nothing. Baker received the Distinguished Service Cross in 1945. He was proud of the decoration. It recognized exceptional valor. But he knew, and his fellow soldiers knew, that his actions earned the Medal of Honor by any objective standard. After receiving the DSC, Baker stayed in the Army. He didn't leave in protest or bitterness. He continued serving through occupation duty, Korea, peacetime Army, assignments across the world. He retired in 1968 as a first lieutenant after 28 years of service. Why stay in an institution that denied him the recognition he earned? Baker's answer, given in interviews decades later: "The Army was the only place I felt I could make a difference. Despite the discrimination, despite everything, I believed in the mission. I believed in leading soldiers." After retirement, Baker didn't stop serving. He became an educator, speaking to students about service, sacrifice, and the importance of standing up for what's right despite facing injustice. In 1993, the Army commissioned a study examining why no black soldiers received the Medal of Honor during World War II, despite over 1 million serving and many demonstrating extraordinary valor. The study identified Baker's case as clear evidence of systematic discrimination. 4 years later, at age 77, Baker receives the recognition he earned 52 years earlier. His response at the ceremony: "The only thing I wanted was to be treated as an equal. I went to war to defend freedom. I came home to find I didn't have it." This is Vernon Baker's story, the soldier who earned the Medal of Honor and spent the next 52 years serving anyway, because serving mattered more than recognition. If you want military history about soldiers who continued serving despite institutional injustice, subscribe right now. Drop a comment with where you're watching from. Baker's dedication proves character transcends the institutions that fail to recognize it. April 5th, 1945, near Viareggio, Italy. First Lieutenant Vernon Baker leads a weapons platoon from Company C, 371st Infantry Regiment, 92nd Infantry Division. His mission? Assault German positions defending the approach to Castle Agonolfi, a fortified position controlling the Ligurian coast. Baker's platoon consists of approximately 25 soldiers, machine gun crews, mortar teams, rifle squads supporting his advance. They're attacking up a hill toward German defenses, machine gun nests, observation posts, fortified positions with interlocking fields of fire. The terrain favors defense. German positions have clear fields of fire down the slope. Attacking infantry must advance across open ground under observed fire. It's the worst possible tactical situation for assault. Baker attacks anyway. Orders are to take those positions, and Baker accomplishes missions regardless of difficulty. He moves forward with his platoon, advancing through pre-dawn darkness. German sentries detect movement and open fire. Baker returns fire, killing 2 sentries with his rifle. The gunfire alerts other German positions. The element of surprise is lost. Baker assesses the situation. German positions are now fully alert. His platoon is taking fire from multiple directions. Continuing the assault frontally will result in heavy casualties. He makes a tactical decision. He'll eliminate the German positions personally, allowing his platoon to advance with reduced risk. Baker approaches the first German machine gun nest. The crew is focused on his platoon's position, not expecting solo assault from their flank. Baker throws grenades into the position. The grenades explode. The machine gun stops firing. Baker moves to the next position. The second machine gun nest is 50 yards away. Baker uses terrain for cover, approaches to grenade range, throws grenades. The position is destroyed. He moves to the third position. This pattern repeats 6 times over the next several hours. Identify German position. Approach using cover and tactical movement. Eliminate position with grenades and rifle fire. Move to next position. Baker destroys 3 machine gun nests, crew-served weapons, 2 observation posts, positions for directing artillery and coordinating defense, 4 dugouts, fortified positions protecting infantry. Approximately 26 German soldiers killed. This is extraordinary individual combat action. 1 officer, solo, systematically destroying fortified defensive positions through close assault under fire. His actions enable his company to advance to the castle's base. German defenders, having lost their forward positions to Baker's assault, withdraw to the castle itself. American forces control the approach. Objective accomplished. Baker's company commander witnesses the action and immediately recommends Baker for the Medal of Honor. The written citation describes the tactical situation, Baker's actions, and the direct result. Enemy positions eliminated. American advance enabled. Mission accomplished through individual heroism beyond normal expectations. The recommendation moves through channels. Battalion commander endorses. Approved. Regimental commander endorses. Approved. Division commander endorses. Approved. Then the recommendation reaches Army-level review for final approval. The review board examines the citation, evaluates the evidence, and makes a decision. The Medal of Honor recommendation is downgraded to Distinguished Service Cross. The downgrade of Baker's Medal of Honor to Distinguished Service Cross is not isolated incident. It's part of systematic pattern. During World War II, over 1 million black soldiers serve in the U.S. military. They serve in every theater: Europe, Pacific, North Africa, Mediterranean. They face combat, suffer casualties, demonstrate valor under fire. 0 black soldiers received the Medal of Honor during World War II. This statistical impossibility reveals systematic discrimination. The Medal of Honor is awarded for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidable courage at the risk of life above and beyond the call of duty. Over 1 million soldiers, multiple theaters, years of combat, and 0 medals of honor suggests the award system is racially biased. In 1993, the Army commissions a study, The Exclusion of Black Soldiers from the Medal of Honor in World War II. The study examines why no black soldiers received the nation's highest decoration despite demonstrated valor. The researchers review thousands of combat records, examining awards and citations for black soldiers. They discover pattern after pattern of discrimination. Systematic downgrading. Black soldiers' Medal of Honor recommendations are routinely downgraded to Distinguished Service Cross or lower decorations. Actions that earn white soldiers the Medal of Honor earn black soldiers lesser awards for identical valor. Higher standards. Black soldiers' actions are evaluated more strictly than white soldiers. The bar for Medal of Honor is effectively higher for black soldiers. They must demonstrate greater valor to receive the same recognition. Missing recommendations. Many actions that should generate Medal of Honor recommendations don't. Company commanders, knowing the award system discriminates against black soldiers, don't bother submitting recommendations that will be denied anyway. This is the story of a soldier who earned the Medal of Honor, got denied, and served 23 more years anyway. If you want military history about dedication transcending institutional injustice, subscribe right now. Drop a comment with where you're watching from. Baker's continued service proves character matters more than recognition. The 1993 study identifies specific cases where black soldiers clearly earned the Medal of Honor, but received lesser awards or nothing. Vernon Baker destroyed multiple German positions single-handedly. Medal of Honor downgraded to DSC. Edward Carter, Jr. fought through German lines alone while wounded, captured enemy soldiers. Medal of Honor downgraded to DSC. John Fox called artillery on his own position to stop German attack. Killed in action. Medal of Honor downgraded to DSC. Willie James, Jr. single-handedly destroyed German positions. Killed in action. Medal of Honor downgraded to DSC. Reuben Rivers fought for 3 days with shattered leg, refused evacuation, killed in action, received no Medal of Honor. Charles Thomas led tank platoon despite severe wounds. Medal of Honor downgraded to DSC. George Watson saved soldiers from drowning after ship sank, died from exhaustion. Medal of Honor downgraded to DSC, later upgraded. The study concludes, systematic racial discrimination in the World War II awards process prevented black soldiers from receiving medals of honor they earned. The researchers recommend reviewing these cases for possible posthumous awards. In 1996, the Department of Defense approves awarding Medals of Honor to 7 black World War II soldiers. 6 receive posthumous awards. They died during or after the war without receiving recognition they earned. Vernon Baker is the only living recipient. After receiving the Distinguished Service Cross in 1945, Baker could have left the Army. He'd proven himself in combat. He earned a high decoration. He'd fulfilled his obligation. Returning to civilian life would be understandable, especially for a black soldier facing continued discrimination in a segregated military. Baker stays in the Army. He continues serving through occupation duty in Italy, then transfers to other assignments. He serves through the late 1940s as the Army slowly begins desegregating following President Truman's 1948 executive order. The desegregation is gradual and incomplete. Black soldiers still face discrimination, limited promotion opportunities, and assignment restrictions. Baker experiences this throughout his career. He's a capable officer who should advance to captain, major, higher ranks. He remains a lieutenant. Why continue serving despite discrimination? Baker's explanation from later interviews: "The Army gave me opportunities I wouldn't have had in civilian life. Yes, there was racism. Yes, I faced discrimination. But I could lead soldiers. I could make a difference in young men's lives. That mattered more than the injustice." This perspective, prioritizing mission and soldiers over personal recognition, defines Baker's career. He focuses on being the best officer possible, regardless of how the institution treats him. In 1950, the Korean War begins. Baker deploys with the 25th Infantry Division. He serves in combat operations, leads soldiers under fire, demonstrates the same tactical competence he showed in Italy. He receives Bronze Star for meritorious service in Korea. After Korea, Baker continues peacetime Army service. He serves at various posts, trains soldiers, performs the routine duties of a peacetime officer. He's professional, competent, dedicated, exactly what the Army needs in NCOs and junior officers. But he doesn't advance beyond lieutenant. His 1945 combat heroism, his DSC, his continued excellent service, none of this results in promotion to captain or higher ranks. The institutional ceiling for black officers, while officially removed, persists informally through biased promotion boards and limited opportunities. Baker retires in 1968 after 28 years of service. He's 48 years old, retiring as a first lieutenant, the same rank he held in 1945 when he destroyed those German positions. 23 years of continued service produced zero advancement. A different person might retire bitter, angry at the institution that used his service while denying advancement. Baker doesn't. His retirement is professional, without public complaints about discrimination or denied promotions. After retirement, Baker becomes an educator. He works with at-risk youth, speaks at schools about service and sacrifice, mentors young people about making positive choices despite facing injustice. His message is consistent. Life isn't fair. The world discriminates. Institutions fail people. But you can still choose to do the right thing. You can still serve something larger than yourself. That's what matters. Not the recognition, but the service. This philosophy, service despite institutional failure, shapes Baker's post-retirement life as much as his military career. In 1993, 48 years after earning the Medal of Honor, Baker receives a phone call from Army researchers. They're conducting a study on why no black soldiers received the Medal of Honor during World War II. They've identified his April 1945 action as clear example of Medal of Honor level valor that was denied due to racial discrimination. Would Baker be willing to participate in the study? Provide testimony about his combat actions? Support efforts to correct the historical injustice? Baker agrees. He provides detailed testimony about the April 5th to 6th, 1945 action. He describes destroying German positions, the tactical situation, why his actions met Medal of Honor standards. He doesn't complain about being denied. He just provides facts about what happened. The researchers corroborate Baker's account with combat records, witness testimony from other soldiers, and German defensive position documentation. The evidence is overwhelming. Baker's actions clearly met Medal of Honor criteria. The study concludes in 1996. The researchers recommend awarding the Medal of Honor to 7 Black World War II soldiers whose actions met the standard but were denied due to racial discrimination. The Department of Defense reviews the recommendations and approves all 7. President Clinton will present the medals in January 1997. 6 recipients are deceased. Their families will receive posthumous medals. Vernon Baker is the only living recipient. News of the award reaches Baker in 1996. He's 76 years old, retired for 28 years, living quietly as an educator and mentor. Suddenly, he's receiving the nation's highest military decoration for actions performed 51 years ago. His reaction, in interviews, mixed emotions. Pride that his actions are finally recognized. Sadness for the 6 soldiers receiving posthumous awards. They deserved this recognition while alive to receive it. Frustration that it took 52 years. Why did it take so long to do what was right? But also, acceptance that the recognition, however late, matters. The Medal of Honor acknowledges not just Baker's individual valor, but the broader service of Black World War II soldiers whose achievements were systematically denied. January 13, 1997. Baker, age 77, attends the White House ceremony. He's in dress uniform, the uniform of an army he served for 28 years despite discrimination. The uniform he wore when destroying those German positions 52 years ago. President Clinton presents the Medal of Honor. Baker accepts it not just for himself, but representing all Black World War II soldiers who demonstrated valor and received inadequate recognition. In his remarks after receiving the medal, Baker says, "The only thing I wanted was to be treated as an equal. I went to war to defend freedom. I came home to find I didn't have it." This statement captures Baker's experience. Fighting for a country that didn't treat him as an equal citizen. Serving an institution that discriminated against him. Continuing to serve anyway because the mission mattered more than the injustice. The Medal of Honor ceremony generates national attention. Baker becomes a symbol, not just of individual heroism, but of persistence, dedication, and service, despite institutional failure. He continues his education work after receiving the medal. He speaks to students about his experiences, emphasizing service, sacrifice, and doing the right thing even when institutions fail. He lives another 13 years, dying in 2010 at age 90. His legacy? A soldier who earned the Medal of Honor in 1945 was denied it due to racism, continued serving for 23 more years, became an educator for 29 years, finally received the medal at 77, and never stopped serving others throughout his life.